Hello everyone, I'm Meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Craven County where a man is now facing kidnapping and assault charges. Matthew Glover is charged with felony kidnapping, felony assault by strangulation, assault on a female, and interfering with emergency communication. Deputies say they received a 911 call on Saturday in the area of US 70 and US 17 bypass, where a woman said she had been kidnapped, and then the line went dead. They learned that a woman who had been in a prior dating relationship with Glover had been kidnapped and taken to Jacksonville. Now, deputies contacted Jacksonville police, who found the woman at a store who had been assaulted. Now, Glover was later arrested at a home on Luke Court east of New Bern. The suspect is being held without bond. Now we also have another story out of Greenville where an arrest has been made in a break-in case. Do apologize there. We've got again, an ECU student who has been charged in that coffee shop case. Greenville police have charged Eric Phillips Griffin with breaking and entering, injury to real property, and injury to personal property. He was arrested last night at Tyler Hall, which is where the 18-year-old lives. Police say coastal fog on 14th Street was broken into overnight Saturday. The break-in was found on Sunday morning. Extensive damage was done throughout the business, police say, though it appears nothing was taken. Officers say physical evidence found at the scene led them to Phillips Griffin. In a social media post, Coastal Fog says it will remain closed while they clean up, make repairs, and navigate next steps. The teenager was released on a $3,000 bond. And now for a look at your forecast. Everything's sunny today, but again, sunshine this time of year does not automatically mean that it's going to be warm outside. Tomorrow, we will maintain sunshine, but we are going to be quite a bit warmer than where we're at today. Currently looking at 48 degrees in Greenville, calm winds, and well, dew points down in the low 20s, indicating again a very dry air mass set up over the east. Now, with that dry air, it's going to allow us to cool down quickly later on tonight. Air temperatures expected to drop down below freezing for Washington as well as Greenville, and really across most inland areas should be down in the, I would say, the upper 20s by the time we wake up tomorrow morning. But promise is on the horizon for those of you who like a little bit more warmth with your daily forecast. A west-southwesterly wind right now in play in Washington. Those southwesterly winds are only going to become more pronounced through the next 2 days. And that's going to help bring air temperatures from the mid to upper 40s that we're seeing right now and put it back in the mid to upper 50s. About 10 degrees warmer than where we're at right now is not only where we're going to be coming up for tomorrow afternoon, but where we should be this time of year solely based on seasonal averages alone. Right now, wind speeds are ranging between around 3 to 7 miles per hour. We'll get a little bit more of a breeze at times tomorrow, but really not looking at the strongest of winds, mostly because a high pressure system is moving overhead, and high pressure usually suppresses winds, where low pressure can really kick winds up. But it's really the difference in air pressure gradient force. But that's a topic for another day. Let's talk about what those winds are going to do through the day on Tuesday, increasing as we make our way towards lunchtime, but most importantly, hanging on to that southwesterly direction. Wind speeds at 7 to 12 miles an hour will certainly be expected, but that's not the big concern. It's really the amount of heat we gain tomorrow. How is that going to play into the rest of the week? And right now, for the rest of the week, we are looking at a fairly messy forecast. Tomorrow is going to be sunny and pleasant, but then as you can see, we've got multiple systems trying to converge across eastern North Carolina. And it's not just eastern North Carolina, but it's pretty much the entire east coast of the U.S. is going to be impacted by 3 separate low pressure systems. That's going to make for a fairly spotty, well, I don't want to say spotty, but scattered shower pattern starting on Wednesday and lasting through Thursday. We're not looking at any sort of major singular band of rain moving across the east, but enough rain will move through to again prompt at least a few rain chances on your 8-day forecast. Here's what we've got for today and tonight and even into tomorrow. Cloud cover tries to build as we head towards the evening hours later on tonight, but those clouds are going to be departing by the time we get to tomorrow morning. I think by the time we get to around 3 a.m. tomorrow morning, those clouds are going to be pulling their way off the coast. From there, we stick with sunny skies throughout your Tuesday. Not a whole lot to report there, but slim chance of rain rolls in late Wednesday. Early Wednesday, again, starting out mostly sunny, but it will end up being a little bit more cloudy by the time we wrap up your Wednesday than by the time we start it. Now, later on this evening, cloud cover not a big issue. Looking again at mostly clear skies across the east. Air temperatures will be falling from 40 degrees at 6 to 34 degrees by 10. We should make it into the upper 20s by the time we reach tomorrow morning. And from there, mid-40s by 10. And looking at the low to mid-50s by noon. Upper 50s planned between 2, 3, and 4 p.m. So if you're hoping for a little bit more warmth with your forecast tomorrow, we've got that covered. After that, another cold front rolls through, and then we get to the messiness of those 3 low-pressure systems impacting us starting Wednesday and lasting all the way through Thursday. Air temperatures, though, will be taking a hit. 56 degrees Wednesday, turns to 43 on Thursday, with overnight lows dipping down into the low 20s coming up for Friday morning. Well, that's all we have time for today's 2 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Monday.